welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons and critically fumble a lot. Previously, they finished their shopping expedition with a trip to Lenark's woodcrafting place and Edwina's, which is no longer Edwina's, which incidentally, guys, on the way back, Barnabas would have had a minor question about Ella. Specifically, why was she so sad? He fit in so well that you guys never explained what the
That's
fuck
a good
happened.
point, actually.
Yeah, so I mean, there's Barnabas just going like, I mean, by all means.
I just go completely ashen.
I'm not misinterpreting anything. She was really sad, and
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're not wrong.
who wants to field this one? Because I'll step in if somebody's gargling boot, but I can't be the one who tells it all the time.
Yeah, well, basically, she took over the shop that was named Edwina's because the one named Edwina was her aunt, if I remember correctly.
Something like that, yeah.
And she passed away recently in the Black Crown's Guard attacks.
Okay, let's not split hairs. She was an elderly dwarven woman. They put her in stocks and whipped her. And because the charming individuals who were sticking the entire town under martial law had banned all magic up to and including healing, the clerics couldn't get to her until it was too late.
They did what?
That, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're also probably going to have to explain a little bit more detail about the whole vengeance hold thing, because let's not have him gargling hoof in front of the kids.
Well, the guards. Well, I mean, that's why you ended up here. Was in part to help deal with that and deal with any retaliation after we kind of sparked. Well, I kind of sparked a riot. Unintentional. It wasn't exactly the direction I was hoping it would go in, but I mean,
You were floofy haired individual of coat of many colors trying to intimidate people with armor and swords, and instead you just well, I mean, you inspired the townspeople.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was pretty much the where I decided, yeah, intimidation not my strong suit. Inspiration, better.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing.
Provocation.
If you'd had the wings, I probably would have done a better job. But it kind of had to be me cutting Candor down before bad could happen.
Yeah.
You know the tiefling kid? They're looking at Barnabas
Mhm.
at this point. Well,
Yeah.
they decided that he was demon spawn and went to execute him.
They essentially started trying to do a lot of similar shit to Hearthhome's family in general.
Yeah, apparently Skylar is, in their eyes, like abomination, apostate, heathen thing because of Bahamut worship. Because apparently, we don't worship the good dragon god. How that was gonna go over if they ever decided to move Tiamat worship over here, I have no idea. But you know, hypocrisy, it happens. Twilly for use of magic, and Keth because, if memory serves me, he punched a Crown's Guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We got them out.
Good. Now, okay. So I'm aware of the crown's god, but is there a crown that they're actually serving, or is it just a fucking name?
No, there's a crown. By all means, Darvin, you're the one who said we're going to kill them all.
Yep, and the crown is currently being worn by one of them. Them being a dragon, in this particular case, a black dragon, and yeah.
Stupid part
So
is, according to lore, we've got the rightful king of Baronsvere here. The local baron is
yeah,
apparently the actual
Okay.
heir, but
And
his was it
daughter?
niece?
No,
It was
it
daughter.
was actually daughter. We
It was
don't
straight daughter.
we
Okay.
don't know what happened to his wife.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to ask.
You know, like if he wasn't actually the king, I might risk it, but
No,
no.
I don't think I would then, because I figure that you know,
That might have a reason with part of the might be part of the reason he's in the position he is. Come to think of it, yeah, good point.
either threat or he did something really atrocious. And if we know, some of us have very legible faces, even the ones without the big face. Looking at Hazel at that point, and I don't think we could keep that from the already nervous daughter.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. But anyway, long story short, the simple plan, or the simple version of the plan, remove dragon, replace with baron, and put daughter here.
Of course,
I like this plan. I'm
Yeah.
happy to be a part of it.
There's more details than that, and it may not come out that way, but I think if I recall correctly, that's the ideal version.
Yeah, that's what we're attempting. But of course, there is the whole getting to Black Crown and storming the castle. And
this end of the continent seems to have a flying handbag infestation.
that's the thing.
It's
The other side of the continent has a flying handbag infestation of the good kind.
I wouldn't call that an infestation.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like that being called an infestation, but
Yeah, well, I didn't particularly like being turned down as a brass arrow because you guys said things you shouldn't have either. So one of them, at least in
didn't.
particular, can get fucked.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not going to say that to her face, but I'm going to agree completely.
Well, come on,
Remember,
I
Alice
did kind of
faced-
blast her to her face.
I
She
appreciate
said
that.
it to her face.
I don't want to be look. I'm just the one. I don't want to be turned into a cockroach. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
Also fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the rest of the conversation between getting back to between leaving town and getting back to Hearthhome for the find your favorites buffet night. Clarity, meanwhile, is kind of 45 minutes or so behind them, just because of travel time and having to effectively wait a little while because Baron, supposed to be King Langerhan, is kind of busy dealing with making sure that people who had at least treasured objects removed from them because of Corrivel, the great green flapping handbag, actually get back to where they're supposed to be, and figuring out some method of restitution that also allows him to rebuild on a baronial scale. And in general, he's a busy man, which is probably a good thing because honestly, he's like his only thing is, well, I suppose given your your friend's more adventuresome aspirations, he wouldn't want to be the noble of Star Coast, would he?
No. He has other ideas for his future, I think.
He also, not to cast aspersions, he's good at what he does, but what he does is not ruling.
No, he's less diplomatic than perhaps the position would require.
He's enthusiastic, but sometimes that's a failing.
Sometimes it's charming.
Yes, I meant more in the I meant more in the actual ruling sense. Enthusiasm needs to be tempered and that sort of thing. More's the pity, honestly, but in any case, and drafts out a little writ of ennoblement and says, obviously this is going to be contested as long as that individual is still on the throne, but I understand that plans are being made in that regard.
We're working on it. It's
Well,
so, yeah.
please do keep me informed. I mean, I have at least some say in what's happening with the mercenaries here. That's the other thing that all of this parchment work is in aid of, because I do want to make restitution to the people, but part of that also has to go to the army that's coming to free them. So
Right.
we're working on it. As long
Yes.
as long as everyone survives the winter, we'll get things resolved somehow. In any case, was there anything else?
Not that I am aware of.
Well,
I will leave you to your very busy day.
thank you. My best to your friends and family, and I hope to see you again in less uncertain times.
Yes, that is my hope also, and good luck to you. Take care of yourself.
And likewise you. And
She bows and
gives her a
takes her leave.
gives her a nod, and obviously isn't mentioning any of the previous bits and pieces. That's all forgotten as far as he's concerned. So yeah, it's a bit of a scrunch home through the snow, but it's if you ignore the lights of army campfires, it's actually quite a nice walk as far as that goes. A little nippy, but I'm fairly sure that Twilly and Miranda got you appropriately bundled. Also, as you walk through town, you will notice that there is a snow dragon and a snow planetar and a whole lot of displaced snow in other senses, just kind of bloomf. So clearly somebody's been playing, and judging from the size, okay, that's small with a tail, that's Faraday that made that snow dragon, and that's it would not be LSA, that has to be Darwin.
I put two little horns on the head before going off.
So yeah, you get in and around about the point where Barnabas has been presented with his butterscotch cheesecake dessert, and trying once again not to cry, and also trying not to inhale it entirely, and failing miserably. And yeah, when Clarity comes in, every table-like surface in that big central room covered in food. Dishes of all types. And Twilly
Damping off all the snow.
and Twilly just prestidigitates. There you go. It's a find your favorites buffet.
Ooh.
Well, we had things that needed to be cooked before we went off. They don't travel well, so, and Barnabas didn't seem to know what his favorites were, so I think he's found them now.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
I remember when I had that look on my face.
you mean which time exactly, dear?
Yeah, I was about to say
That's
that was a
It's
Tuesday.
December-
fair with you.
Instance number 1,
Ah,
when you got me out from under the what was I under that time?
that would have been the sofa, dear. You had you
I'm
had
not
great
that surprising.
you had great aspirations of going out and experiencing everything, but all of a sudden there was space and people, and you weren't really sure. So yes, that would have been when I lured you out with pancakes.
All glory to cake pans. Yes.
This would be why she's as fond of pancakes as she is, I think.
That would explain it, yes.
I mean,
So
sounds
Hazel,
fair to
Slightly
me.
there was actually a time you were shy.
For very
Really?
obvious reasons.
Twilly actually goes up and dart right upside Darwin's head.
Sorry, deserve that.
Yes, yes, you did. And
How'd it go, Carty?
yeah, she just and do put yourself together a plate while you're delivering your report. This lot seem to have had a wonderful time.
Got that writ of nobility thing and putting it back away, so very safely tucked.
And Alice says just maybe we want to put that in a bag of holding.
Certainly.
Good thinking.
wants
Froseth's
it?
usually the one that keeps the important stuff because Hazel's the regularly used stuff. We do have a system, believe it or not.
Yeah, it took a while, but we worked out one.
All right, it's in Froseth's bag.
I mean, it didn't go that long, but yes.
Darvin's just getting this look. And there weren't any of the problems you were nervous about, Clarity?
Oh, usually the things I worry about don't tend to be an issue.
Well, better to be a little bit worried about it and feel a bit silly that it not be for that your worrying was all for nothing than not worry about it at all and then walk out with your chin somewhere around the region of your shoes wondering why you didn't think of that.
No words, just raise his hand.
You guys must balance each other out so well.
Pat Darwin on the head.
At least I'm inspirational when I have long ears.
How's the Baron doing?
Busy. He's trying to take care of all of the restitutions that he'd like to make and returning things to their rightful owners, and sounds complicated. So I
Well,
didn't want to
yeah.
take up too much of his time.
Yeah, well, given he's got at least part of an army to pay for, that makes a certain amount of sense. I don't think the people of Goldendale will begrudge that, but it's nice that he's trying.
Of course. Yeah, I feel bad for him. He's seems quite overwhelmed, but he's doing the best he can.
Well, given that we're trying to make him take over the country, it's probably a good warm-up.
It's true.
Heavy as a head that wears a crown.
Actually, that's a good point. Because we got Francine ennobled to spare Darwin. Ava, any idea what you're gonna do?
I don't really know. I guess it all depends on how things turn up in Cedar Grove.
Well, I mean, I guess we can hope there's some nobility left. Leave you have a little bit of freedom. Figure out, who you actually want to be.
Hmm.
I'm finding out how important that is. It's a thing. I guess, yeah, grateful enough to have the chance to. Am I up until you guys decided to get uh, what's the best word for this? Impressive. Um, my choices more or less ended at uh, do I attack the big ass dragon or do I not? Which for me is no choice at all. You know that.
Not really.
So yeah, like I said, these guys had a fantastic time. We had to explain a few things to Barnabas, but we'll go over what he knows later. But these guys in a candy shop, about half of them regress to like age 6. It's great.
Very easy to do
I've
that in
seen it.
there.
Yeah, this time I was not actually thinking as much about you. I'm talking about Mr. Three
David.
Gold's worth of fudge.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I was gonna say,
outstanding
rather than
fudge.
I don't dispute that, but you cleared out her stock.
It was
And
the
I'll
whole barrel.
Ooh.
and I'll do it again in a heartbeat.
I mean,
The man knows what he likes. Hey, well now.
And Ella has something new. These little
Something new.
little bean things. I think they apparently originated in Egref, but little sugary beans, fruit flavored.
I'll have to try one sometime.
Well, I'm pretty sure Hazel managed to pick you up a little something something.
At this point, I'm going to stump directly up to Clarity, reach in the bag of holding, produce the package full of pretty much one of everything from the shop.
Oh, thank you.
You know, Clarity, you know Hazel was not going to leave you out.
no.
No, I suppose not.
Yeah, we also have to have a talk about the bits we picked up at Lenark's.
Yes.
That was not as productive as we would have liked, but there's still the quartermaster if he hasn't burned his own tent down yet.
Yeah.
Well, their own
I
tent
hadn't
down
yet, last we heard,
Sorry.
so.
Well, I heard something about smoldering.
Mm.
We might want to check that sooner rather than later.
But you have, I mean, dinner and dessert have been had, so Hazel, I think it's probably about time. And Miranda's just, yes, just as long as you promise to take out this, what remains of the food to some of the mercenaries, it can be an apology for you stealing away their Minotaur.
I can definitely do that. I may need to ask Remy's help with that because Remy is the one who knows where all of that is displaced.
Hazel, I think you're going to need everyone's help with that. Gestures to the every surface covered in food.
Mounds of food.
Yeah, I just wanted to specify Remy because of reasons beyond just the food.
And couldn't Barnabas also help with that?
I certainly could.
I think we'll be able to find someone who will take it.
Oh yeah, considering the rations we were living on before, this will be gone.
Mhm.
Gone.
So basically find some place to leave it, whistle, and stand well back.
Yep.
I think that might be
Well
right, yeah.
back.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
have you guys ever heard of piranhas?
In this case, I would say the minimum safe distance is about 20 feet, at least.
For those of you that have not
Good to
heard
know.
of piranhas, they are little bitty fish with big sharp teeth, and they swim in schools, and they will strip very large creatures to the bone in seconds.
Ugh. Those sound delightful.
Nom 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 nom.
That sounds terrifying.
But
Anyway.
before we go and give things to mercenaries. Hazel? And points to where she hid all the candies for the kids.
Yes, I was waiting for this.
Oh yeah, Lissy, before Hazel starts the mass exodus, she said something about her sweets that taste like your absolute favorite and you couldn't figure out what it was. Hands the little bag. Try one of those. Munch. That's it! What is this? Saltwater taffy. Oh, awesome. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Now for the fun. Now for the biggest example of welcome to Hearth Home. What he said. Nyom. And off into Miranda's and Twilly's room for the stash.
And out Hazel comes with sacks for basically all the kids, who are appropriately grateful and very huggy. And Hazel just sort of disappears under a pile of kids.
Witness Hearth Home!
Dawn in the sea of children.
Yeah, she's probably one of the first ones in, so she's kind of one of the last ones out because she doesn't want to crush like Zana and Oscar and Skylar and most of the other kids who were smaller than her.
I will wait for people to start pulling themselves out of the pile and call Evan over and pull out from under my chair the basket of scraps and with on the bag of squishy bears on top and hand it to him.
Well, given
Like-
Evan is a 4-year-old gnome and that's not it kind of he has to set the thing down and then Evan just kind of climbs into the basket. Poof.
That works.
I'm having fun with this. Thank you. And it just
That's
disappears into the cloth remnants.
Mission accomplished.
I try and get Dawn's attention.
Pads up. With her little bag.
Hey. I believe I heard you like red licorice.
Thank you.
You're very
Opens up the package Hazel gave her. Do you want one? Shake it, shake it. And then pounce hug. And given that this is a half orc we're talking about, it's kind of you don't fall over, but you do stagger back a couple of steps. Just poof.
The cutest book.
Small, dense, and huggy.
Yeah. Again, not as small as, to be fair, most of the rest of the kids, because you've got a dwarf, a couple of gnomes. Well, no, a couple of gnomes. Anna's a gnome.
All right.
But Evan's really tiny gnome. Just occasionally you see as this little tuft of red hair sticking out of the basket.
I'll just glance down every once in a while, make sure it's still moving. Yeah, he's still breathing. All right.
Miranda's, I'm sure he'll be fine. He's a sensible little survivor, that one. A little tricksy now and then, but a sensible little survivor.
Remind me, was it Miranda or Twilly who left me the notes?
Miranda.
I think it was Miranda, wasn't
Yeah, she's the very observant, very sneaky one.
it?
She does sort of glance up at Ava when she gives Dawn the red licorice and gives her a little. Doesn't say anything, but.
Right, I think that's all taken care of. Should we proceed with the
food distribution.
As the
Mhm.
Hearth Home's bounty upon the mercenary companies of Equitas. Twilly and Miranda, you're going to be Merc legends all over again. Oh dear lord, here we go again. Right, off with you.
Gonna just go about collecting the food and giving it to who's gonna be setting it to wherever, and just everybody
Yeah.
out.
Alice winds up picking up one of the bigger roast chunks because she is one of the strongest of y'all. One of Barnabas a little stronger than her. Remy is about equal-ish. So just, and then of course there's Ava and Clarity, who are like desserts and bread rolls mostly.
Yeah, light stuff.
Yeah, I mean you've got Barnabas and Alice and Remy and Hazel with some fairly large trays. Darvin and Furseth with smaller but still reasonable trays, and Ava and Clarity with baked goods. Light baked goods. um, One thing that Alice does ask when they're gathering things up is, "Hey Hazel, did you tell Clarity about the miraculous transmutation engine and the blueberry pie attempt?"
What?
I'm going to need a bit.
The what now?
uh,
Just
Magitech. It was a thing. Basically, they were trying a machine that transmutes, and the governor of Egref was asking, "What food would you like me to try to have this thing transmute?" And Hazel just blurts out, "Blueberry pie!" Clearly thinking of you, Clarity. And
Oh.
it almost
and
worked. Almost.
yeah, it their things came out that weren't exactly pie.
Well, there was raw pie filling and raw pie dough and a pie plate.
Oh. Well.
They just came out kind of in the wrong order and not cooked.
I mean,
Yeah, it was sort of a filling. Then the dough fell on it, and then the plate kind of just shot out.
Like an
It-
oven at the other end. Maybe you could make something with it.
Yeah, but if the filling comes in first, I think you have a problem.
Yeah, this thing was meant to sort of be an oven, and also like someone took Belarus's library, crossed it with a oven and every other cookery thing known to all living, and just told it to do things.
I think Hazel's overcomplicating it. It was just supposed to be. Apparently, there's a block of wood in it, and it was supposed to transmute the block of wood permanently into whatever you asked for.
mhm.
Oh.
Hence, blueberry pie, but it didn't quite work the way it was supposed to. Maybe the instructions were off, I don't know. But again, first oozed out pie filling, and then, sadly, pie dough and pie plate just fell on top of the whole thing. Splook.
Oh. Well, still kind of impressive. It
Cal-
used to be wood.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Calatail was really disappointed, though.
There's
Understandable.
going to need to be an entire day where you get a tour of Agrif proper by.
I think it's gonna take more than a day to tour Agref.
Just thinking
We
that.
didn't see half of anything.
Mm.
Well, I would need a whole notebook for all of the things that I would want to write
I
about
think you'll
in
want
there,
more than that.
at least. And you're telling me interesting writing things and my arms are full and I can't write the things down.
Well, Barnabas.
Oh my god, the tragedy of my face.
You can share Barnabas's notes about Toothsome.
Yeah.
Specialty chocolate place. Basically, they had these moving belts where little single serving dishes of chocolate desserts of every variety just cruised on past on different colored plates, and the plate color determined how much each cost. And then there were these little mechanical things that sort of trundled around. One showed you to your table, and one gave you mocha, chocolate coffee stuff.
And it communicated entirely with weird little signs that it pulled out of
Somewhere.
literal nowhere. Because there wasn't enough room in those things for the signs, I don't think.
Maybe they just had a silent image thing, the way Aaron had.
Probably.
How do they work? I want to know how they work.
We honestly don't know. I mean,
There
didn't
wasn't
even
really
begin
anybody
to-
around to ask.
Well, there were those two guys putting the finishing touches on the desserts at the back of the room, but
Didn't kind of want to. I mean, they were doing their thing. I didn't really want to disturb them. So
yeah, that's the thing. There were no human or other serving people. There were no serving stuff. There were just these little mechanical things.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
the
there's no one
the
that-
two guys at the back putting dishes on the belts.
Egref was a lot. There were things we wanted to ask and never got to actually ask because everything was happening
When
all
we're
at
done,
once.
when we're done with all this, Darvin, you need to show Clarity your sky shirt.
yes.
Guy shirt?
It needs to be seen to be
It's a sight.
properly.
Okay. Well, all right.
By that point, you've more or less reached a sort of a. It's where the rations are, and it looks filling enough, and smells largely edible. It's just not this. And you're getting a lot of interested-looking mercenaries who are like, I've already had some of the stew, but I could eat.
Once everything is set into a space that can be gotten and we're all back, To all here, behold the bounty of Hearth.
Sorry, can you repeat that, Marion? You're kind of
You've got a lag spike happening.
Backs up very carefully.
okay, got it. So okay, go ahead, Smeagol.
Behold to all the bounty of Hearthhome. Food for all is here. Enjoy.
Please save some for others. Is Alice's comment?
Scramble.
Yeah,
The back just sort of
there is a little bit of a stampede, but you will notice that some younger individuals who are kind of like pages or squires seem to be putting together plates for commanding officer types. And with the yelling from the vaguely celestial-looking individual, they do try to avoid too much of the elbowing and the shoving, and they don't just take everything all at once. So everybody gets a little bit of something that's nicer than the average rations, but you do get people occasionally grumbling about, man, you took the last of the duck. Yes, word that rhymes with duck you. You're not swearing. Really? Look, there's that little dragonborn kid sometimes, and I never know where she's gonna turn up. Alice just looks at Farseth like,
Darvin quietly wondering if he's pretty much resigning himself to the fact that, yeah, he's probably slipped up on more than one occasion. She was nearby going, damn it.
Yeah, the thing is that Faraday doesn't hide as well as Evan does.
Oh, hell.
the again, welcome to Hearthhome and the ridiculousness that just happens here.
Yeah. Anyway, in terms of weaponry and stuff at Lenark's, was kind of out of bows because, I mean, what with the shortages and everything, a lot of people are getting that kind of thing for hunting. And he only had 2 crossbows,
Oh, all right.
and like 3 people wanted them. There were a couple of specialty bolts, though, so the big question is, of the 3 of you who wanted crossbows, who is going to put themselves at the mercy of the local quartermaster?
I'll do it.
Hazel called it first.
Because
Good, because I'm scared.
Darvin is making an obvious point about being clearly terrified already. I want to spare Clarity the absolute nonsense.
Well, she has already met this individual. Remember, they fitted her for the armor. So
Why I want to spare her further nonsense.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, but the armor doesn't seem to be doing anything weird, so that's something.
Not yet.
That's very fair. You make an excellent point. But to be fair, the regular crossbows did also come with fire, a couple, like 6 fire bolts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As per your request.
Yay.
And I've got enough of the other ones that I can hand off a supply of the interesting kind.
And again, you never know what quartermaster individual does. And yeah, Hazel, if you're going to be the one asking this individual, reaches into one of her pouches, pulls out another little bag of the sweets, chucks it at her. Bribery works.
Thank you. All right. Here goes nothing. I'm going to just sort of ready myself and go in.
Okay. The quartermaster's tent is not on fire. It is blackened in a few places, and there are some patches, but it has not burned down.
Oh my god.
Things went well, I hope. Hello?
Well, yes, peers up from behind the counter. Yes, no, is just that I left the warming tent support poles on high for a little bit too long, and they may have made some scorches, but I have mostly fixed this. Yes.
They're contained better now?
Well, no, I turned them
Or just
down.
off?
No, turned them down. Very much
Ah.
down. I may have to turn them back up again if it is going to be out much later, but...
Got it. Well, I have a bit of a request.
Yes?
I'm in need of a crossbow. Pretty much anything you can spare or want to do.
And disappears
Also-
behind the counter.
Wait, before you go.
Point.
There, as a bit of a thank you for the candy assortment, I'm gonna provide the assortment I was given.
Shuka. Point. Beak. Squidge. These are rare. Squidgy bear. These are rare. How you get so many of these?
There's a store in Goldendale that
This place makes exotic candies? Squish.
after a fashion, yes.
You, Hazel, you're relatively wise. Those things were invented here.
To be specific, this is where they were. This is where they originated.
And there is shop in town
Mm-hmm.
that does this.
Mm-hmm. That probably invented them.
I know where my signing bonus is going to go. Takes little gnome handful of these goodie bears. So now you've got this individual on so much raw sugar. Munch. Boom, under the counter again.
I'm just going to carefully stand back and try to not immediately move into the line of fire of anything.
And given how your hands were going, I thought you were going to say, and I'm going to pray.
Yeah, that's sort of where it's going. It's like I'm going to just stand out of the line of fire and just start begging Paylor to not get me shot.
This gnome comes out from under the thing with. I mean, it's probably not quite as big as it looks, but because this individual is a gnome, it looks nearly as big as he is. It's a. He's handling it like he might a light crossbow, but it's rather larger and seems to have more in the way of things involved in it.
Oh God, what is this thing?
To give you an indication, those of you who are aware of the game, what he has is Bianca.
Oh,
Is repeating crossbow.
What crossbow? I'm sorry, I'm
Is
from here, so
yes, no, I am trying to find best way of explaining this, but is a thing where there is an occasion when this thing will effectively fire two bolts pretty much at the same time. This is this thing that Knott's crossbow does, where on a nat 20 it fires a second shot immediately.
oh no. I'm going to like reverently take the thing if it's proffered.
It's definitely offered. It's kind of it has to go
Oh,
around
boy.
the counter because he can't climb it. Well, they can't climb it with this thing in their arms. So it's just now you have to be a little bit careful of this, because yes, I am going to have to ask you for notes. I will send you. I will give you an address to which to send notes if you are away for extended periods. Because is a bit of a prototype this.
Mm-hmm.
And you will probably want bolts too. Hang on. Scrabble comes out with for this individual fairly large armload of like probably about 50 bolts. Clunk.
Thank you.
This is standard for crossbows, but I for some reason nobody in the companies wanted to test my prototype. I was scribbling out an address on Is That Lane in point of fact. So
Oh no. Oh,
if you can get a message to this shop with any note or things that you have noticed about it, like
Right.
what happens if you use special ammunition, or what happens if it misfires, or anything along those lines, then I would very much appreciate it. Thank you.
I will most definitely do that.
And thank you very much for the squishy candies.
You enjoy. I think
is the noise coming out of this little gnome.
oh boy.
I have more prototype ideas.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, Hazel is wise. Hazel knows now is probably the time to say thank
Yeah,
you
I'm
again
just-
and leave.
I'm just sort of like standing there, sort of little deer in headlights before. Thank you again. I'm going to go begin the testing procedures.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Then parchment
Just
quill.
just sort of out.
And
very
you hear
like,
you
oh,
hear
no.
you hear the cackling on your way out.
Oh my god, oh dear Paylor, it's the Sweetwater all over. It's the Sweetwater place all over again. Oh no, there's gonna be tea trays for days.
Hearing the cackling, looking at the
and
look
and
on
you're
Hazel's
and
face,
and,
and
hey,
just,
and you hear Hazel as you understand. This can oh dear Paylor, it's gonna be tea trays for days. This is what you're getting
like,
as Hazel.
oh
And
boy.
then you see the crossbow she's holding.
Clarity,
Oh,
I'm gonna
that
need your
is
help
not
figuring
good.
this out and taking notes on what it does.
Better you than me. Boy, I'm glad I'm okay. Yeah.
What's it do?
Well, they called it a repeating crossbow. And they
Huh.
want to know what it'll do if I put special ammunition in it,
I want to
among
know
other
it.
things. Yeah, speaking of special ammunition, I'm going to reach into the bag, produce 3 of the psychic bolts, and hand those to Clarity.
Oh, thank you. What do these do?
I think those were psychic, I think.
As,
Great.
as I
Um,
seem to recall Hazel putting it, they stab you in the brain as well as wherever else you fire them.
Yeah, that did.
Awesome. Do you have regular bolts? Because I don't want to.
She's actually Hazel's actually carrying an armload of like 50 of the things.
Oh,
Yeah, here you go.
thank you. I'll divvy them out.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea because remember, she doesn't have the bag of holding anymore.
Yep. And I'm going to pull out any of the remaining stock that I have, which I believe I gave most to Rissy, so that would put me at least half of what I have.
I'll say that. Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, that's I'm producing 32 bolts out of the bag.
And the fire bolts.
There's, yep, pulling up the fire bolts to hand over to Clarity.
But you might want to save a couple of those if you're gonna want to test this thing.
Yeah, I've still got three of each of the special kind I got, so 3 ice and the brain stabby ones.
Yeah, having heard talk, you might want to save at least one fire for yourself because remember, most of this is wood.
Yeah.
And this individual, this dude does not have a great reputation with flammable things. Keep one of the firebolts.
I'll do that. All right. So
that just leaves Barnabas and the Howlers, doesn't it?
Yeah, we still got to stop in and have Barnabas
Tender his resignation.
That, yes.
Well, he wasn't gonna say it, so somebody had to.
Yeah, it's.
You sure you're cool with this dude? Looking.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
It's just when you get quiet, you kind of still gotta ask, you know.
No, I understand. No, this is a good mercenary company. It's not like I'm not going to tell them to take this job and shove it, but I am done with this life for now. I've been for a while.
Found something a little bit more than coin to fight for while you're here.
You could say that. You could definitely say that.
I think a few of us know that feel.
It's been a long time since I've had the opportunity, or the privilege.
Pat, pat, pat.
Keen.
On the shoulder, because she could reach his head, but that'd be condescending, and she doesn't do that. Right? Do you want to do this on your own, or?
It makes no matter to me. If anyone wants to follow along, that's fine, or not.
I don't know, it feels like discretion might be the better part of valor in this case. I mean, Remy might want to go and vouch for the whole nature of the quest thing, but
Sure.
If it even comes up.
I'm assuming your captain isn't Carter, so this should go a bit more smoothly. Either way.
Yes.
the rest of us
Yeah.
can go and get things sorted for the trip we're going to be making in the morning.
Yep. Redistribute our new ammo stock and make sure everything is where it needs to be.
Get things set for our upcoming trip is fine, Hazel. Smooth your hair a little bit. Come on.
Yep. To Fort Cupcake.
There's a certain amount of cheering from the better fed mercenaries as Hazel passes, and people
Glow.
sort of saluting with the beer mugs.
This happy, near vibrating sort of glow.
And Alice just sort of leans. You walk in the sun, and the sun feeds the needy.
Yes. Praise Paylor.
Meanwhile, Barnabas and Remy make their way to the Howler's command tent. It's a fairly large structure. A lot of the Howlers seem to be some of the larger races. Half-orcs. There are a couple of Dragonborn. Mostly the not chromatic but not metallic either, midway point ones, as it were. The
Mhm.
ones that are occasionally offensively called mixed bloods. Yeah, we don't do that. Some people do, but either they're flailing or they're assholes. But
And often end up dead.
the commander is a half-orc who really just goes by captain because he can't be bothered with anything else. It probably doesn't like the incredibly orcish name, so it just sticks with captain. Ah,
So are we out?
yeah, you're outside the tent. If you want to be outside the tent, you're outside the tent.
I was just gonna ask. Captain, how are you this evening?
Well enough. You've been out for an. I know you haven't taken leave in a while, but usually we like
Yeah.
a little bit more warning if you go off on 24-hour furlough. And wait a minute, weren't you with Carter's Combine before the gods called you?
Yes. Yes, I was.
The gods have great timing from the sounds of it.
Give or take, yes.
Well, better that. I mean, okay, yes, that particular altercation was bad, but it could have been worse. You could have stayed with him while he finished his descent into assholery.
That's very true.
So, yeah, the gods picked a good time. Are the gods picking another time now? Looking over at Barnabas.
It's not so much the gods as me. I'm done with this life. Honestly, I want to put in my resignation.
You know, I appreciate your honesty. I always have. But in this case, I'm just gonna write down the God's Cult because it's a lot better than I just decided I'm done.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Do you mind if I ask what you people are doing? I've been hearing rumors about dragons and dragon gods and that black nightmare that you all faced in the Southern Lands.
It is a, you know, quest with a capital Q, and gods are involved, even if it's more direct for some of us than for others.
That wasn't a no.
Yes.
That wasn't even a straight up answer either. You're telling me
So,
that there is actually truth to the rumors that you people are going to try to hunt down Tiamat.
Well, we're opposing Tiamat.
I think at the moment there's at least an ancient green dragon that's first on the chopping block. I'll make you some boots, sir.
I have no response to that.
In that case, I will take my leave.
I'd say gods be with you, but you never actually talk about them, so I'm just gonna say, don't get your stupid ass killed.
We'll take
I'll
good
do
care of
everything.
them.
Barnabas reaches out for a handshake.
And it does the forearm clap thing. Good luck.
Thank you.
It sounds more exciting than dealing with a. I want to say it's a small town insurrection, but I hear we missed the younger dragon.
Yeah, it's complicated. There's a lot of ins, a lot of outs. Um, there's dragons to kill, and apparently there's gods involved. So maybe I can find a way home. That's the short of it.
You never did quite learn when to stop, did you, Barnabas?
No, you know that, sir.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this is my look. I'm an orc that actually, I'm a half orc that actually does subtlety sometimes. So let me drop the subtlety and just say, quit while you're behind. Say thank you, sir, and
Thank you,
walk
sir.
out the door.
Grabs, and we just sort of walk out.
And you just hear the quiet rumbling laughter of a half orc behind you. So that went reasonably well. Meanwhile, back at Hearthhome, where you guys, I am assuming, are heading, because that didn't take very long.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that some of it is these guys counting out crossbow bolts and Darvin showing off his sky shirt.
There's 17 bolts for you, 17 for you, and 16 for me.
We have. Oh, hold on. There's the 50 I got given plus the 32 I've got. So let's
That's
redistribute with the bigger.
82. That's
Yep.
82 total.
I did not know about the 32.
Yeah, I pulled them out to. I was pulling them out to redistribute.
Well,
That's my
I'll just
bad
take
for not-
another. I'll just take another 10. That's fine.
Gotcha.
And
Alright.
another 11 go to each of you guys. And yeah, Darvin comes out and in this shirt, which at the moment is a sort of a twilight purple. and then presses the little bit of glitter where it starts fading to a deeper purple indigo, then black, studded with little tiny stars. And then that, you know that color of the sky bullshit that you sometimes get on Tumblr? It cycles through that.
Oh no.
He's just there,
Yeah.
this big grin, just.
That grin frightens me.
If only there was a way to preserve this image for eternity. As is, right now, moving.
I think there's people in Egref who can do that. The people in Egref who can do everything.
Yeah, we are definitely going back there.
And these two walk in with Darvin doing with his color changing shirt.
Behold, he glows.
For now, I cast Silent Image, and there's a second one right next to it.
Dude! You can do that!
At which point, Alice does disguise self, and she winds up as a third Darwin.
Oh, we can do lots of these. I can do that too.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh dear,
boy.
Bard is multiplying.
Distraction.
And in Darvin voice, invoke duplicity!
Yeah, oh no, he's multiplying.
That is scary
Just
thought.
rolling across the floor
And
laughing.
Mom said I was never good at math.
That explains why we're all so bad at calculating risk. Save a few of us who are particularly who have been placed with us in order to counteract that problem.
Oh, dude, it takes down the disguise self. I calculate them. I just take them anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, you realize who you're saying this to, right?
Yes.
I mean, you know,
Hey,
which was epic.
but there were tactics involved.
Yes, exactly.
I
Brilliant.
knew what I was doing. I knew the risks. I paid the
Just
price, and then some of the rest of you did. So, you know.
Yeah.
I
Work
calculated the risks, but I'm really bad at math.
Pat.
I'm getting a little
That's
better.
going to wind up in the stories in a few months, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
If you mean in a few months, next time I have to tell a story, that one's going in.
Yeah, I thought I'd already,
And-
pretty much already had.
No,
just
I
not
mean-
many words.
Oh, you mean the dragon thing? Oh, it already has, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean the grand total of all the rumors and things flying around in a little bit will be including the whole thing about calculating risks and bad at that.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd fill in with the rumors more if it weren't said with just us.
Yeah, fair enough.
So anyway, you two, I take it that went well.
Yes. No issues whatsoever.
Good. Don't really like thinking that issues might be a thing, because, you know, angry mercenary captains and this bunch have a bit of history.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. The captain's one of the good ones, so we're fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. Flitty lands on one of Barnabas's horns, and which to Barnabas is just peeping. It's the nasty captain man basically killed me, and I didn't like him. Because Remy doesn't understand that either.
Oh yeah.
But they're certainly indignant peeping, and Remy does remember what happened to Flitty, so she probably has a fairly good idea of what's being said there.
yeah, that was a whole Hmm.
One more reason we need to be glad that he kind of disintegrated.
Yep.
Yeah. Although at some point we are probably going to have to look into the cursed artifact trade, because between that and what was going on in my parents' basement,
Yeah, that needs to get stoppered.
I mean, I'm hoping it's only little bits and pieces, but from little bits and pieces can come some really atrocious shit. But we've got
Well,
enough issues in this country.
Mm-hmm.
But, given that it's connected to the black shit and the black shit's connected to Tiamat, we probably need to at least look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got the rundown from Froseth. We've got our stuff split up, and everyone's got the crossbows what needs them. We stopped at Jenna's. We got the armor, the weaponry, the chain. Mom finished up the bubble o' doom.
Apparently, she's still just putting the finishing touches on that, and she's giving it to us in the morning, I think,
Yeah,
before they leave.
yeah. And outside of that, it's just us, the boat, and getting down to Star Coast area as quickly as possible with a stopover at the Frowning Trout to.
Yeah, well, we're probably gonna have to do that anyway, because it's not like any of us are getting any sleep in that boat. It might
Oh
have it
no.
might have been okay when it was fewer of you, but there's more of us, and one of the more of us is bigger.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put him in first just so we can make sure to not rock anything.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He seems a dexterous enough sort.
Yeah.
And we need to stop by Francine on the way, don't we?
That
Yeah, that
would
that
be
is the
Frowning-
frowning
That's the
trout.
frowning trout. She took it over.
We got a case, right? A
We don't
box?
we don't have a box, but she might, because doesn't it need to
Okay.
be like locally sourced driftwood kind of thing?
Yes.
That sort of thing, yeah.
Right.
It
Yes,
needs
yes,
to
yes,
be
that's true.
from the from the barony proper.
Yeah, if anybody's gonna have something that can approximate, it's her.
Most definitely, yeah. Wow, we're really doing this.
Yeah.
But again, speaking of risk management, let's keep in mind that, well, yeah, we have to plan for an ancient green dragon. We also have to be prepared for the possibility that we are not going to get an ancient green dragon.
Yeah, I'd been on my mind for the last little while, but
And the thing that's been niggling at me is that if a dragon that powerful is sort of hunkered in the Elven Wild, whatever long game is happening there might be considered way more important than revenge. And even if the Ancient Green doesn't think so, the Ancient Green's god might.
yeah.
Yeah. So while the plan mostly is interchangeable, the thing that would have to be excluded more than likely would have to be the bubble, because blowing that on anything that's not.
If it doesn't wind up being the Ancient Green, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No,
It's
no,
like
I know what you were saying. What I was going someplace a little different.
Ah.
If, because I know the Elven Wild is right next door, and that's an issue. But we need to secure Baronsveer before we can really focus on anything else. So if it's not the green dragon that turns up, what do you guys say to saving that bubble for Jain Narend the Third?
Agreed. That was going to be my yeah. Well, and I do, not to keep going back but I did obviously mean it when I said what I said, and I want that green gone and the white as well. But I agree that if we can focus on the black first and deal with them as a very large afterthought, that would probably be best.
And to be fair, we don't really. Hazel's book said something about a blue living in the cliffs between here and Equitas, and a red somewhere in the more volcanic region of Cragsphere further north. So
We had to fight something relating to the blue, if I remember right.
Well, the
it's
Dracolich, but
kids. No, it's kids. Remember that
oh
The
yes,
fairy nonsense. The
remember
Dracolich is
they hunted up that dragon's youngsters and threw them at us for sport,
right,
probably knowing Archfey, that the ancient blue was going to figure out who killed her offspring and maybe get a bit pissed.
And
right.
yeah,
Because Archfey be like that sometimes.
I'm
there.
not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
A mess.
I'm glad for the outcome that we were going for, but anyway.
Oh, come on. If we'd known, we would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
This is Miranda and Lyra. I haven't known them as long as you guys, and even I know that I'd have happily soloed the little fuckers if it meant getting them out of, as it turns out, being Avernus.
So, question: should we be prepared for, if not Madam Green, multiple um enemies coming our way once we get there?
We should be prepared for just about anything, but the one thing I do think is that they're probably going to wait until we've completed what we're going there to do, because their ideal, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is because they didn't want the heart to die, if memory serves. They wanted it to stay corrupted and use it as a power source.
They wanted a giant, tentacle-faced nightmare engine, basically.
And their ideal would be to grab the new heart in an unguarded moment and do it again.
Which we don't need that fog that's still there to turn into hate fog again.
Not from what I've heard, no.
But which is why I had a thought about that actually.
Mm.
Since not all of us are needed for the ritual to restore the heart, the others should probably be sort of surrounding them and guarding them whilst they're doing
I'd
that.
kind of assumed, yeah. I mean,
That would.
what were we gonna do? Leave you back at the Frowning Trout? Come on.
Right.
Yeah, everyone's coming along one way or another.
And you guys wouldn't let anything happen to us, same as we wouldn't let anything happen to you if our positions were reversed. The thing is, the other thing we might need to be prepared for, and we didn't get a chance to ask about this, if it's even something that's known, what shape those of us who have taken part in this ritual are going to be in when it's over.
That's a good point, yeah. We don't know if it's what effect it's gonna have.
It's going to be a shock, I would imagine.
Yeah, at worst, incapacitated. At best, drained. So, this is some heavy duty stuff we're doing. So, we just kind of have to. We're down to the point where all we can do is make assumptions and best guesses. So, yeah, we're planning for it, but a lot of this is just hoping that things don't turn more sideways than they're liable to already.
Yeah, the thing is that discussing how things could go sideways means that things like, Ava and Clarity and Barnabas could, have things ready so that if we are incapacitated, we can be peeled up off the floor a little bit quicker. there can be
Mhm.
aftercare.
Yep.
So if they're prepared for the worst, they can do something about it. The worst thing in the world, I think you all know this, is to have somebody in dire straits in front of you and not being able to do a damn thing to help. So knowing that this is a possibility not only gives them the thought, okay, we may have to provide aftercare, what might we do, what might we be faced with, but, and I hate to say it this way, but it's the only words I have for it, they're going to need to prioritize. There's 3 of them, there's 5 of us. They can only be dealing with one person at a time. They need to decide which of us they're going to come for first. Now, not to cast aspersions on Darvin or Froseth, but the only reason I say this, because this is me we're talking about, you know that. Remy, Hazel, and I can heal. So we can be of a bit
Yeah.
more help if we're peeled up first. Which might make the choice a little easier, but when it comes to matters of the heart, I understand that it's not always that easy. Thus, I bring it up as a preparatory thing. And yeah, Darvin, you can say that all you want, but the heart says what it says. You know that.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to say out loud that, if you need to save me for last, by all means. I'm not going to cry bitter tears. And I mean, so just if that make it a little easier in the moment.
Yeah.
Clarity, do you have any healing abilities?
Not, I mean, I've got the aura, but that's about it.
And if we're about to be attacked, that thing only has a little while of life, so you probably want to save it for a last resort, not a first response.
Exactly.
I'm just watching Clarity do the usual thing.
Notes. I mean, I've got the healing hands. I've got the healing word. Remy's got healing abilities from 2 different gods.
I'm just going to produce.
Hazel's got hers, and that.
I'm producing a greater healing potion, which I'm setting in front of Clarity.
Okay.
And Hazel's got the staff of healing and her own abilities. So between all of us, the other 2 should be in pretty good shape.
Plus, if you're all, for some reason, you all end up down, I can pick one up at least.
Well, that's what I mean. There's Clarity with a potion. There's you with healing word. There's Barnabas with either a potion or I don't know what else you can do, man. But that's still 3 people.
Yeah, and I mean, and we can redistribute potions in addition. So.
And this is all worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's good to
Probably
be prepared.
Best to be prepared for the worst.
Froseth, you got anything to add here? Because you are one of the. Why I'd think you'd care about being saved for last, I don't know. But I worry about these things. Okay.
Yeah, like myself, all I've got is potions. Like I've got no healing ability aside from my general knowledge of medicine.
Hey, in a pinch, that can still sometimes bring somebody back from the brink. So don't knock it.
Well, between you and Hazel, you'd at least know what to do for physical and mental shock. But then again, if you're suffering from it too, I think we'd mostly. Yeah, that's the other problem. Can you 2 write up some kind of primer for the other 3 of what to do in cases of physical and mental shock? Not the physical healing exactly, but the best things to say, do, stuff into people's faces when they're drained and kind of freaking out because, frankly, they're doing the kind of thing gods do. Leave us not shit ourselves about this. We are doing what the gods did when they made this fucking country.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason that we're going to be allowed to do this at all is because of what Remy asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gods know I owe you so much for that.
If we all calculated what we all owe each other, we'd be in debt until the dawn of time. That's why I give the teeth.
Yeah.
So
As
we've
you
got to
always say, we're family. Debts are both meaningless because of the bonds between us and too large to be spoken, so let's not.
Okay. Right. Sorry.
You're apologizing too much again. Ruffle.
Trying mightily to resist the urge to say it again, but okay.
So then, figure we should crash out a little bit on the earlier side. Make sure we're up and at 'em.
Yeah, and it's been a big day, and
Yeah. Plus, we're gonna need our rest.
and
Oh,
I
boy.
don't know about the rest of you, but I am going to enjoy the last bit of actual bed for a while. If
Yes.
Yeah.
if for no other reason than snuggling.
Mm.
Hey, I'm keeping it child friendly.
Speaking of, I'll be back in a little bit. No worries. I just want to say goodnight to somebody,
Okay.
and Darvin will go back to the house. Um,
Oh, hold on, I'll follow you. Actually.
oh,
Okay.
sure, no problem.
Be right back.
And just sort of peek in, see. I'm assuming by this point that kids are.
The younger kids are very much in bed, and Evan's had a bit of a long day, so he's curled up in his little bitty bed, and
Right.
so is Dawn. So
Yeah, I just.
you mostly just see this little poof of bright orange hair under like little quilt.
Very light. Pat. Good night.
Okay, Dawn.
And quietly walk out.
Fair enough.
Okay, Dawn.
Just because I
Okay.
know we're wanting to leave so early, and I don't want to miss the chance
Well,
to.
they're leaving early too, and your guys are gonna have to see Twilly before anyway, so they're
Yeah.
probably going to feed you breakfast. Come on. But
Just in case.
I know, it's fine. I'm just explaining that is where we're going to go after our slightly belated 5-minute break. So let's leave it at for the moment that everybody crashes out, and I'll see you in 5 minutes when we deal with what happens after the crashing out. we're back. The Cupcake Coterie are crashing out after a fairly busy multi-session day. And it ain't quite over yet. Froseth.
Sorry. Before I
Oh.
crash. Oh, sorry.
What?
Well, I was
What?
actually going
No.
to go see for a
Okay, go ahead.
real quick. Knock
Did
on
you
his door.
catch Froseth at the end of his evening meditation in his little in-room Zen garden?
Hi. Can I
Hello.
come in for a minute?
Go ahead.
Do say if I'm overstepping or anything. I just want to check if everything's okay. And they seem very quiet, and just wanted to make sure you weren't.
I'm
I
fine.
know but you seem more quiet than usual.
No, I'm doing as fine as can be expected considering our situation.
Yeah. Well, I was just a little bit worried because you well, hate to say it, but you kind of got the extra pressure with the ritual thing.
Oh, I'm not the only one with extra pressure there. We're all gonna have to do our part there.
Yeah, true.
I
Yeah.
mean, for
Well-
Froseth's consideration, given his wisdom, what he seems to understand is he's going to be guiding an awful lot of energy, true, and that's going to be tough. But think about where that energy is coming from.
Yeah.
Well, at least the kids will be safe in theory.
Yes.
Sorry, they just keep getting more adorable. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got such a bright mind. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. Fantastic.
Well, just wanted to check you were doing okay, and you seem to be. So
Thank you very much for
Not even-
checking, but I'm doing fine.
you know it's okay to talk if you aren't.
I realize that, yes.
Anyway, you have a good night.
You too.
And
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that conversation might come back to haunt Froseth in the morning because it's about one of those times, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes the elements sort of grab him and shake vigorously.
Yeah.
It's at the start, it's more voices than actually seeing much of anything. Starting with, they called me out. They actually called me out. And I have to find out about this from a raid. This cannot be allowed to stand. That voice Froseth doesn't know. The next one he mostly knows as the blonde bitch. I'm sorry, it sounded a terrible lot like you were thinking of going against my orders. You weren't really thinking of doing that, were you? No, Mother. We'll handle them. I have some ideas. I'm sure someone's listening. I always know, even if I don't know where. Have fun with what I'm going to send to you, little snowflake. last thing he gets before a very brief waking is an image. Two individuals. One, he has cause to recognize the species at the very least. This is a Minotaur, and it looks nothing like Barnabas. Barnabas is big, yeah, and probably kind of intimidating, but he's got floof and a pince nez and manners, and this thing is black and barely armored and dual wields in a pose that's an awful lot like Alice when she wields those scimitars, and looks demonic and incredibly angry. Next to him, red dragonborn, very spiffy armor, fairly impressive looking axe. There's something wrong with his left hand. It looks more human, and it seems to be almost rotting, with some of the rot starting to spread under the armor. But there's a sense of power to that hand. Something that you're not really sure how to define. Yeah, a few of you know where I'm going with this.
Oh,
Ah.
Yep. This is fun for me for watching Smeagol, Lanira, Marion, and Antheus. Cause put it to you guys this way: they made one specific part of Critical Role absolutely canon before Wildmount came out.
oh my god.
I think Ethan's got it now.
Oh Christ.
But
I got it.
I think I liked our chances better with the dragon.
yeah, and it's about at that point that Perseth has a brief moment of, okay, waking up now. Just for a minute. Just want to get out of that. Just nope, 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 nope. And can eventually go back to sleep, but that wasn't fun.
No.
Worst part is you don't necessarily know if that's specifically what's going to be sent against you, or if that's just what's being called upon to find something to throw at you. Because the Red Dragonborn did, given your very high perception and all the rest of it, look like the kind of individual who is very used to command. This is a general in an army of dragon devils. Oh fuck the Abishai. And it might take a little while longer after you realize that, oh shit, to get back to sleep. But you do get your 8 hours, just about. Probably wake
At
up
least close enough.
probably wake up a little earlier than you have to, because fuck this, I'm not getting any more sleep. Meditating time. Actually, no, I think I'm going to go out and beat on a punching bag for a while. So yeah, and when Alice gets up, it's like, hey, Bree, you wanna get some practice in before we head out? Work up an appetite for breakfast.
Sounds good.
And this is sort of knocks on Barnabas's door. Hey, dude.
No, what?
You want to get some morning training in?
Yeah, might as well.
And it literally just walks in. Well, no, because Hazel's in the other room. So yeah, we'll leave it at them. She'll leave Clarity, Ava, and Darvin to sleep. They're not military, barbarian, or other. So yeah. First, just for my just for my edification, make me an attack roll of
Attack
whatever kind.
roll?
Well, of whatever kind you want to make. I mean, are you using the new sword? Are you just punching shit?
I think just punching shit.
Okay, by all means. It's a dummy. Roll damage. Yeah, when these guys come out, it's not the clean kind of. It's when watching Froseth do his monk thing, it's not as clean and smooth and calm as it normally is. He's still getting his hits in, but there's more agitation to it than Remy in particular is used to seeing.
Morning, Froseth.
Hello. What was that?
Uh,
Do we want other people to be awake for this?
I only want to say it once, so yes.
Do you want to beat on things a little bit more?
Please.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll leave it at we'll leave it at I mean Darvin, Clarity, and Ava and Hazel in her own room who wakes up with little ones packing the last bits of their stuff all around her. To find that there is a lack of Froseth, Remy, Barnabas, and Alice in the house, and they'll come out and see Froseth in particular beating the almighty hell out of one of the practice dummies.
Um, is he okay?
Morning?
Oh,
He only
boy.
wants to say it once.
And
Oh,
that
boy.
confirmed it. Oh, no. I've seen that look before. And if he's only wanting to say it once, it's not good.
Nope.
Do we want this before or after breakfast, Froseth?
I'm not actually sure which would be better there.
Will it
Probably where the kids might
kill the
be.
appetite?
It might.
Breakfast first.
Breakfast first, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Besides, we don't want to have to try and hide the nature of the bad news in front of the kids on their last meal with us.
Yeah.
And when they've done training, morning prayers, all the rest of it, get into the Hearthhome main house, and there's the kids with all their little belongings, and Skylar is still wearing her scale mail, and Twilly sort of walks up to Alice and hands her a scroll. I'm still not 100% sure it's going to work. I'm about 97% sure it's going to work. But it's a tricksy bit of magic, this. So, best of luck. Let me know how it goes. Clarity, please take lots of notes. That's the main reason I'm not handing it to you. Because somebody who understands needs to watch it happen and take notes so that if it goes terribly wrong or even if it goes right, you can write down what happens and I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit worried about you all.
Got it.
We have every intention of coming back.
Yeah. Currently, they've basically just killed the last of the eggs and the bacon and lots and lots of toast. And many hugs from almost all the kids. Candor and Lissy are still not exactly huggy people. But Barnabas does get Mela a little dark-skinned half-elf with puffy black hair in fun buns, just stepping up to him and going, "This is probably very, very impolite, but may I please pet your nose?"
You may. You may.
Pet.
It's only impolite if you don't ask.
I even ask the ones that can't talk back.
Mm. You've seen someone else that looks like me?
No, no, no. I mean, with petable noses.
Ah, yes. Good. Go ahead. Do it again.
God. Just cuteness concentrating to roll cute damage again.
Oh, the cute damage.
And all in all, it's a good breakfast, even if Froseth in particular is a little bit preoccupied. And Twilly is, at the end of breakfast, Twilly is like, "I thought you might want to see us off, because somebody has to go first, and I figure you need all the peace of mind you can get at this point. So, last hugs, everyone?" Before Furseth gets his hugs from Skylar and Farida, they provide him with a sack full of the last of the season's berries. We're not going to be able to do it for a while.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Scrunch.
Tight hugs.
Hmm.
And hugs all around, although there's this minor hesitation when it comes to Remy, right up until Skylar, who's a little bit brasher than some of the rest of them, step up and go, "Are you amenable to hugs?"
Sure, of course.
At which point, the entire rest of the group who had just been waiting for this onto Remy.
Remy wobbles a bit.
Well, she's yeah. So you guys get the amusement factor of seeing Remy, the usually fairly stoic, just literally piled on by kids. I'm not sure if that expression from Ethan is Darvin being about to say something or.
Um. Yeah. After he's gonna try to catch Skylar's eye and just offers up like a salute of some sort.
Yeah, she does the same.
Yeah, seemed appropriate.
I sidle up to Miranda or Twilly, whoever's less busy.
Miranda's usually the
fine.
less busy looking anyway. Twilly is always sort of in 5 different places at once half the time.
I've been debating whether I should leave butterscotch with them to keep their spirits up. What do you think?
I think that they're not the only ones that need their spirits kept up. There's silliness within the group, yes, but sometimes you just need something small and fluffy. I mean, Flitty is wonderful, but you have to worry about crushing him if you hug, and butterscotch does not take crush damage.
No, he doesn't.
And besides, I think, plush or not, he has feelings of a sort. He'd pine, and I don't think that would be very morale boosting. He'd prefer to be with you.
Peek into him in my bag.
It is his tail. It is sort of scrabbling up just to give the adoring look.
All right, you'll stay with me.
Happy nuzzle, 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 and then poof, back into the bag. See, there you are. Don't worry, they have
Yeah.
plush enough to be getting on with, and they have each other. And I like to think they have us as well.
I'm sure they rely on you as well.
There's a difference between being relied on and being a comfort. And,
I'm sure that as well. How could you not be?
Twilly is kind of zooming around to kids, sticking warm hats on them. It's like, besides, if we want something small, cute, and running around, we have my beloved wife.
That is very true.
I mean, to be fair, you do have Hazel as well, but Armor can be a little bit difficult to hug. Not that she doesn't
Oh,
try very, very hard.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why we love her, I suppose.
Among other reasons, but some of them aren't for mixed company. Pat Pat goes, "Are we ready, dear?" Yes, I think so. Everybody's bundled up with coats, and it's kind of, you can't wear your coat over that. It's warm enough. Besides, Xana knitted me the hat that matches, and it is sort of blue with almost silver white accents to them. All right. You're not going to catch your death of cold. I'm sure I can trust you that far. But if you wind up with another chest infection, I don't think either of us are going to be particularly happy. Yeah, but I wasn't wearing this when I got the chest infection. This is one. It's got padding underneath. There really is no arguing as far as this is concerned. But it was a gift from special governor peoples. Yes, yes, all right. That's. I'm sure that our well, your big siblings of sorts will report your absolute enrapturement with their gift. Right, and you will have everything you need. There might be a few things left in the pantry if you wanted to take them as supplies, but you do have things in Fort Cupcake as well, so you should be all right for food and everything. But there is a cake and a sack of cookies. You're all going to be all right. Miranda looks at Furseth
You just
for a
spoil it.
long moment. You'll all be fine, I'm sure.
Somehow.
And Twilly and Miranda just go along the whole group. Hugs. Doesn't even bother asking Remy, just hugs. Barnabas gets them too, although given halflings and Minotaur, there's more around the hips than anything else. Boop.
Still a hug.
Yeah. Thanks
Right.
to the scroll, we know it couldn't have been easy to get it done so fast.
Like I say, 97%. Anyway,
That's better than nothing.
better than 95%.
Take care.
I trust your 97% more than some people's 100%.
Thank you, Clarity.
Exactly. Excellently put.
Now, shall I give your regards to the Cathay family?
Yes, please.
Ava, I'm going to need you nearby so I can get a feel on that sword.
Yeah, sure.
I catch Candor before they do things.
You
might not.
don't get dead.
I don't intend to. You don't get dead either. So
Yeah, but you see, I'm not going adventuring. I'm going to a farm.
I know, but I'll miss you.
Likewise. I figure there's going to be a lot of that, but I guess it just means that it's something to look forward to when you come back.
Yeah. I know you're not the hugging type, but can I get fist bump?
Thinks about it for a moment. looks around and then just gives this rough little one-armed hug and then backs way off.
I'll see you later.
No dead.
Oh,
I will. If they let you get dead, I will smack people.
I will absolutely let you. From
I don't think if you were dead, you could stop me. Although, given some of the stories I'm hearing about these people, they'd probably bring you back, and then I would probably flick your ears for letting yourself get dead, and then I'd smack whoever let you get dead, and then I might fist bump the one who made you not dead anymore.
all sounds perfectly reasonable.
Virtue name. It's a thing. Right. All aboard for the cafe farm, and a series of magically imbued words. It waves a hand and gate. And herds the kids through. And waves as Twilly is the last one out, and
Well, that's done.
that was so many hugs. Like, all of them, ever.
That didn't feel like enough in some way. Anyway,
I'd say
Nice of the day.
I'm sure there'll be more than there'll be more later, but given some of the facial journey over there, looking over at Furseth.
Yeah,
We've
that
we've
brings us
eaten,
around.
we've eaten, we've seen kids. What?
Go on,
Uh,
Williams.
well, the had the random dreams most likely given to me by the elements, where I see things see or hear things happening I shouldn't be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, First thing I heard was a voice I don't recognize, though I'm pretty sure it was the Ancient Green, being very pissed off with how we called her out.
But wait a
But
minute.
some
That they shouldn't have. How did they find out? They weren't supposed to. There's still at least another day. They did. She did say something about I had to find it out through a raid.
yeah, I
You're
wrote
getting
it
there.
down.
Okay. Okay. I just wasn't sure because sometimes I do have to spark memory. Sorry.
Yeah, but with something like this, I decide, okay, I'm writing this down as happened.
Okay. Fair. Okay. I'll keep that in
Yeah.
mind. Sorry.
Just yeah. Um. Yeah. Apparently, she found it out from a raid.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh god. Well, that means we have even less time than we thought.
Not necessarily.
That was already not
I
much.
think not necessarily. Let him. There's more to this.
So,
Not done.
after that, a voice I quite familiar with at this point, Tiamat, basically scolding her for maybe deciding to go against her orders, and that will be handled. She's got some ideas and sending something else at us.
You're expecting something to happen.
I guess we're gonna have to wait a while for the test of the 97%. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. After like she made comments, she was pretty sure she was being listened to by me
Oh Christ.
because of course.
Oh boy.
No, it's
She's given me a nickname.
Oh goody.
I'm Snowflake. Anyway.
You are very unique.
Anyway, after that little bit of talking, a brief image of two two
Beings?
beings. Yeah. A minotaur, nothing like Barnabas. This was demonic, angry. Looks like he would handle two weapons the same kind of way Alice does with her scimitars.
Oh, goody. Demonic Minotaur Barbarian.
Yeah,
Yippee.
that's my guess. Yep. The other one, a red dragonborn in very nice looking armor, impressive axe, and a rotting human hand that seemed to have a sense of power around it.
I did actually roll for this on Alice A, so that was a natural 18, and she's just getting this look of, oh, fuck.
What?
Want to know what it is?
Not the Dragonborn, exactly, I don't think, but the hand, I'm pretty sure I do. Okay, any of you who have, Arcana? Well, Jack of all trades will do, because that's a bard thing.
$19.
Would this be something that might be recognized through religious aspects?
16.
Not in this particular situation. It's ringing bells for clarity. It sounds like something that she might have tripped over in a footnote when she was doing her original reading, but it was during another smash and grab. So all she's really got is, I'm pretty sure I know that this is as bad as her face makes it out to be. Darvin, no. Okay. There was this lich named Vecna. Apparently, in one plane or another, he was attempting to ascend to godhood. It didn't quite happen, but there's bits about his eye and his hand, and this is something that a couple of scholars kind of mentioned in passing, but apparently in the one plane where he came damn close to ascension, a bunch of adventurers not that much different than us basically nailed him down someplace, shunted him out into some other nether plane, but it left his hand behind. A temporary associate of the adventuring party looked like they were trying to destroy it, which doesn't make any sense because the hand and the eye of Vecna can't be destroyed by almost any means. At least I haven't found any. I think we'd have to do a lot of research to find out if there was actually a way to destroy it. But this associate apparently conned them into thinking he was going to destroy it, but stuck it onto himself instead. There are theories about why. Some thought he did it for his own power, but we don't know enough about stuff in that plane to say for sure. But the one that was more into the gods that I heard about, like I say, this is Bartok towards the last bits of this, thought that he did it to try to find a way to free his lady. He's a paladin of Tiamat.
Oh boy.
But the thing is that,
And I'm guessing
well, sorry, no, go ahead.
the affiliate is a red dragonborn.
Might be. I mean, like I say, I don't have all the information, and this happened on another plane that we don't. It takes some significant planeswalker to get much more than the occasional detail, but Dragonborn would make sense, and if it was going to be anything, it would probably be a red. My issue is whatever this is, and from Furusa's vision, it sounds like you're right. If this individual took the hand to try and free his lady, and then comes back and finds that she's mucking with this extraplanar ooze, isn't he kind of stuck in the middle?
Oh no.
What? Oh no.
That sounds like yes, but that also, if he's stuck in the middle, that means he's even more unpredictable than anything else on board, because when someone in the position of working with blonde and crazy is against what she's doing, but still wanting to help her, who knows what he's gonna do?
And that's if they even send him, is the thing.
Yeah, I got the impression he was more of a general, so that might just be the way she was going about finding something to send at us. It may not even be what I saw that we end up against.
Well, from the sound of it, I mean, we know what it's not going to be, apparently.
Yeah, but we
Okay.
do have something of an idea of what it might be.
Remember the Abishai? So he's in
Ah.
charge. You
Mhm.
mentioned those things are like minions, basically. So
Yeah. That would
how many of those do you think they have?
I mean, higher level minions, but yes. Some of them, at least.
I don't really know enough about Abishai to, and I know they come in the same colors as the chromatics do. I know that they're gifted by Tiamat, but I also know that if Tiamat's got other, well, if any ruler's got other pots to boil, they'll, generally speaking, turn around to, if you'll pardon the pun, their generals and say, I mean, if she got any kind of report of what that black did, because let's face it, until you guys, until Re sort of poofed its darkness bubble and turned the tide on us, it nearly had me. If Tiamat knew that.
And put it past them.
And we don't really know what else she might be able to chuck in our general direction and have something steal the heart while we're distracted. You pick a devil, basically, at this point.
Well, we'll just have to deal with it when we get there, I guess. Not much more we can do.
Well, we can ponder, because there's a big difference between fighting. And back me up here, those of you who've actually been in the military. There's a big difference between fighting one big thing and fighting a small, well-tacticked squad.
Yes, there is.
Hell, there's a difference between fighting one big thing and a bunch of little things, even. I mean, thinking of the big rock thing versus those cockatrices. Let alone organized little things. Oi. I think I liked our chances better with the dragon. I said that already.
It's fine. It bears repeating.
I'm gonna start collecting supplies and get things
Hey,
to the boat.
Hazel, Hazel, before you do that, grab hug.
Oof.
Pat.
Thank you.
You looked like you needed it. And Froseth, seriously, thank you. I know that kind of thing can't be easy, and telling some of the more excitable of us about it must be even worse. So, seriously, thanks.
I mean, I'm not going to keep something like that to myself.
I know, but what I am trying to do with my words here is to show an understanding that it is difficult and lend support. I am not great at it with words, and I'm little hesitant about hugs, and you're not really a comfort food kind of individual. So I do my best with the words, and I hope you understand the intent. This is me
I
being supportive.
thank you.
Cool. Holds out fist. Fist bump. Bump. Ice-based hitting people professionally team for the win.
I'm going to continue to the collecting stuff and just taxiing it to the boat.
Yeah.
Also,
Hazel, I'll give you a hand with that.
yeah. Also, everybody make me a
Yeah,
perception
do that.
check.
Oh boy.
21.
22.
16.
Wow.
9.
Basically, that's the approximate order in which you find the little bags of mixed squidgy bears and sugar beans in your various pockets.
Yeah, which makes sense. Me wandering off with Hazel. Smeagol, you want to illustrate?
Yeah,
You found
because
yours?
it'd be Hazel finding it first.
What the? Check your pocket.
Sure enough, I did. And he even picked my favorite scrap.
Yeah, you would have done purple satin for yours.
Exactly.
I am somehow entirely unsurprised.
That little rascal.
There's a reason I bought it.
What? What? What are you talking about?
Pockets, check them.
Oh, check your
Wow.
pockets, Clarity. You'll
Oh,
find.
Evan.
oh.
That almost sneakier than Mama.
I know, I didn't. Nothing. No. That's impressive.
Well, apparently his mother was quite the thief.
Yeah, she was.
Hey, come on. When we're talking about her great deeds, let's at least have a smile.
Near on invisible until pop things in something's eyes, gone.
Yep.
I admit, I still love the story that you told about her and the direwolf.
Yeah.
Because as I recall, wasn't it basically turns up on his back out of nowhere, shunk, daggers in the eyes. Sorry, but you were taking too long.
Yep.
And then abruptly just kind of jumped in a direction and couldn't track. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous and awesome.
And that's the legacy that Evan is inheriting.
Quite well, I
It's
might add.
That's a scary thought. Just by dint of can be there and then not there.
Hey, Darvin, I had a thought for you because this might be a nice thing. You said something about how Francine was at least a little bit connected to Star Coast's Undercity. She was how you found it, which meant she probably knew about Mira. She might have more stories that she might be able to pass on to you, to pass on to Evan, so he knows his mother a little better.
That's a great idea. That's a very good idea, yeah. It's worth asking, if nothing else. Thank you.
That's cool. I figure that you've had family for all the formative years at least, and I'm sure that even now, if somebody had stories you didn't about your mom, you'd want to hear them. But sometimes you're just too close to it to really think about it. So, I mean, me, I'm far distant from it because as far as stories about my parents go, I'm probably going to hear some, but I honestly would prefer not because they're going to be horrible.
So anyway,
Yeah.
let's get the show on the road, I suppose.
On that note, I'm gonna help Hazel with supplies.
Thank you.
I figured we are all sort of helping.
Possibly not that fast. I mean, you only really need things for a few days, but honestly, you're grateful for the bags of holding, but when Hazel checks her amazing picnic haversack, which is usually the default for packing things in, she'll open it up and the warm bit has food smell.
I'm going to pull whatever ended up in there out.
There is several warm chicken sandwiches.
Whew, these are gonna come in handy when we get going. I'm gonna stash them all back in and continue helping prepare.
Yeah, there's some other bits in the cold side as well that they basically Twilly packed you like lunch and snacks in the incredible picnic haversack, which somebody should show Barnabas because those are just neat.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm just waiting.
when everything is ready and people are getting on the boat, I can just see Hazel going, "Behold!" Because
Yeah, pretty much. That is word for word exactly what I end up doing. Jack out. Witness the amazing picnic haversack.
Actually, if I recall correctly, it was actually the incredible picnic haversack. Sorry.
Yes, just yes.
Actually,
Both.
that was
And I'm
out of,
just-
no, that was out of character because I knew it had too few syllables.
Yeah, and I'm just producing like all the stuff that was packed in it as we start.
Yeah, there's
Shoving off or what have you.
sandwiches and sliced fruits and vegetables and those thin sliced deep fried potato crunchy things. And
As
it's
much
not
of a pinball as
even
I can be on that boat.
it's not even lunchtime yet. You don't want the sandwiches to get cold. Put them back.
And
But
then back in they go.
Barnabas is watching Lunch for 8 come out of a little pack sack
That
and still warm the sandwiches.
Yeah, that's lunch for 8 coming out of a bag for 2.
Bag for one,
It's
and I've
not-
got 2 bags that do this sort of thing. Just one
Well, no.
actually maintains temperature.
No, actually, the incredible picnic haversack. One of them left with Twilly and Miranda because that was theirs. The one that you have, there's one section that keeps things warm, one section that keeps things cool, and a bit in the middle for stuff that temperature doesn't matter so much and can actually also fit plates and stuff. So it's just one bag. It's about the size of the average pack sack. So you're pulling something the size of you're pulling sandwiches for 8, including hearty appetited individuals, out of something about the size of a small lady's handbag.
So yeah, I've got one thing that's the size of a lady's handbag, and then essentially a messenger bag that is the bag of holding.
Oh, I see what you mean now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because the incredible picnic haversack does not have the carrying capacity of a bag of holding.
yeah. No, I was just saying that I've got 2 bags that hold way more stuff than they rationally should, and one of them is meant for all manner of delights of the foodery persuasion.
More egg riff bits and pieces.
Egriff bits and pieces, and also things that mom and mama provided, pulling out the jug that produces water from the bag of holding.
Oh, and the infinite bread basket.
And there's another thing in here, and a bread basket, also infinite. I have food forever.
Well,
I love my
starvation will
family.
not be a
Yeah, no,
starvation is certainly not a concern around here. I see.
no,
Yeah.
raised by halflings.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
breakfast. There's second breakfast. Then there's lunch.
But
And
I've also heard of something called elevensies. Could you elaborate on the difference, please? 'Cause I am
that's like
confused.
immediately prior to lunch on like days when there's when there's just a lot of when there's not a lot to do and there's just food to be had.
Nibbles. Pre-lunch
But
nibbles.
Yeah, snacks before lunch.
well, so no one has ever accused halflings of not living well. That's for damn sure.
This is why we really don't want anything to stomp Hearthhome, because that's
They're amazing.
that too, but that's what I mean the actual farm rather than the people, because the farm feeds the people and keeps them living well. And even if Twilly and Miranda didn't deserve to live well, those kids sure as hell do. I mean, each and every single one of them was abandoned, in a couple of cases sold into slavery.
Cases like me and worse.
They've apparently been taking in kids for 40 years.
That's why mom and mama are awesome.
They certainly are.
And they magnetize, well, us to the family too.
Everybody is their family, unless they are attempting to do harm, in which case they will end them.
Mm-hmm.
That I can relate to. I can relate to very little else because the homie kind of confuses me, but that I can relate to.
Need to protect things.
Yeah, that's basically my nature, yes.
Well, about how long do you think we'll get? How quickly do you think we'll get down the rest of the river to the Frowning Trout when we're loaded down?
Well, your guess is as good as mine on a cold river, but we've got a bit of wind, so stupid chair.
Hey, Froset, do you have any guesses as to how long this is going to take?
To be fair, that'd be a straight up intelligence check. So you're probably asking the wrong person.
Probably. I'll do an
I'm just
intelligence
sort of-
check to see, but
Sort of declaring this out into the air.
15.
You figure it'll be fairly late by the time you get there, but you should, given the wind. I mean, to be fair, this is the elements talking to you now. This
Yeah.
is the water and the wind wanting you to get there, and fighting against the load. But it still means that you'll be there for a late dinner.
If everything stays in our favor, probably a late dinner when we get there.
Huzzah! That
Are we
means
expecting anything to happen?
I
Probably
Also
should,
just-
just in case.
no more than we should.
yeah, because I remember back when we were just traveling normally, and the ghasts happened.
Yeah, but to be fair, weren't you walking? Oh no,
Yeah.
that was you stopping to make
No,
camp, if memory
Yeah, we
serves.
stopped to make camp
but-
for that one.
That's sort of what I'm getting at. Like stopping places has a risk of attracting things.
Well, looks like we're at least not going to have to stop if we don't mind trying to wrangle lunch on the boat.
Yeah, I can at the very least now share the Gast story.
Well, plus we want to stop as least as possible and waste as least time as possible.
Okay,
Can I
Hazel.
appoint?
I've kind of heard bits of the Gast story, but go ahead and tell it, Hazel. Because a few
So,
people haven't.
so we were just setting up camp, and I don't remember how it exactly started, but things started moving out in the shadows, that sort of thing. We were just starting to notice, and I'm not sure if they count as shambling, because I don't know if they're undead or what, but these things came out, started a whole shebang with trying to remove our faces, and after a lot of walloping, both from Frozeth and the paladin we had at the time, I happened to nail the last one with this big overhead because I was just trying to make it stop, and I made it go from full-sized person-shaped thing into pancake. And all of the bits went everywhere, except on me. So everyone got sprayed down with gassed gunk, and then Darvin over here, I may have, I may have been sort of flailing about wanting it to stop and just being me at it, and he lobbed a chunk of gunk at me. It got me right in the face with my mouth open. My
I still
lunch
feel bad.
proceeded to escape
Yeah,
along with it.
I still feel bad about the mouth open part. Sorry about that.
Remind me, ghasts are the ones that smell so bad they literally cripple you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a smell you do not forget.
Yep.
That took a day or two to finally leave our general vicinity.
Well, at least there's prestidigitation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
It works, but the smell lingers.
it still managed to. It's like even if it's not there, it's so bad you still kind of think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We've had some interesting encounters with stuff back when we were still starting out.
Still start.
What do you mean back when we were still starting out? You could have just ended that at interesting encounters.
Exactly.
No,
Thank you,
I mean,
Frozeth.
back when we were still starting out. We still get them now, but I mean, like, the stuff we got into fights with back then, the cockatrices, just as one example.
Well, I'm not sure if that's so much what you're talking about when you mean first starting out, but I'm curious now. Froseth, what was your most interesting encounter?
Huh. Right, let's see.
Okay, the first one that sticks out to you.
Let's see. I'm thinking the plants where half of our group got hit by a thunder wave.
I was trying to avoid that one, but sure.
Ah, yes,
Sorry.
the vine blights. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Clarity.
get into fights with plants.
Yeah, Clarity. What about you?
I mean, if we're not mentioning that one,
Well, we've already mentioned that one, so bring up a different
right?
one.
There was that Nothic that we.
Oh God!
The thing in the
That
basement.
we
Why was that in
yeah.
the basement?
I don't
Came
know.
up out of the hole.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Yeah,
It
because
knew
you
things.
did say something about a hole in a hole to the Underdark down there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
It knew
thing-
things just looking at you. It was creepy and unsettling.
Yeah. And Hazel has the ghosts.
Yeah,
Darvin, what about you?
Oh, that's easy. The cockatrices, even though I don't really remember much of that fight because I spent most of its,
No,
turns of stone.
the end of it you missed. The end the next day.
Yeah. I tried. I ran up. There were two of them, and they kind of both got me, and I couldn't dodge both of them. So, yeah. One hit me, the next hit me, and next thing I knew, I was going, I don't want to turn to stone, I don't want to turn to stone, and going, wait, we're somewhere else. So, yeah.
And
Made
then
a
there
nice
were
pair.
conversations.
Yeah, let's
Oh, boy.
leave it there and switch to Ava. What about you?
Um, hmm, probably the Nerul Temple.
I mean, less encounter. Well, I guess it counts as an encounter, but it
The-
certainly
the-
wasn't
the-
something
the
to kill.
The hands.
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh, the wall.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was we were in
fun.
Barnabas to explain. We were in a temple to the god of death, and we were running a gauntlet to prove ourselves worthy. One of the things was effectively accepting the inevitability. Um, I mean, we walked into this room, and hands came out of the wall and grabbed Ava and Remy and Aaron and grabbed for Darvin, but he got out of the way. But they left me and Hazel and Furseth alone. Now, okay, I've been thinking about this, and I meant to bring it up actually, and this is a good time. It occurs to me that the whole within a minute thing isn't. I heard this from old stories, so sorry if it seems a little overdone. Needing revivify is mostly dead. Your soul hasn't left yet. Your heart has stopped beating, but you can start your heart. You can start a heart again by physical means. But I guess it still counts well enough for what they were talking about.
It's anchoring the soul.
Yeah, I mean, I'd been properly soul gone dead. The others, the ones who were being grabbed, hadn't been. So I looked at this and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You died, I died. They're not trying for me. I actually poked one and it didn't do anything. But it was still going for the others, and I'm just like, okay, I guess you kind of have to let them throttle you a bit. I mean, it didn't kill them, but it was probably incredibly creepy.
Yeah,
Tiny
and
bit.
especially being the one that basically had to go, okay, and step into it willingly.
I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm sure.
God.
Yeah, that was unnerving as hell, but
I'm
I didn't
sure-
really have much choice.
I'm sure that earned you some
What is
serious points with Nerul, though.
Well, here's to hoping.
On a
Take
lighter
every-
note,
Actually, it's
The-
Ree.
Yeah.
It's Ree's turn, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
about to say.
correction.
What are those cactus things in
Oh
the
God!
desert?
Yeah.
Oh,
Lord.
It was like the plant
Oh,
thing all over again.
Well, it was
The-
a
the
plant
initial-
thing all over again. It was just a different plant thing from the sounds of things.
And it wasn't someone on our end accidentally causing something to go wrong. Just those things had really nasty paralytic. Ow!
Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, okay, vine blights, they'll just grab you, strangle. These things were throwing needles!
Needles covered in a
Yeah.
poison that hurts so bad it literally locks all your muscles up. This
That
for
was not
Barnabas's
pleasant
benefit
at all.
predominantly.
Almaver is just why.
The wastes are interesting.
At least one thing ate Darvin and me.
And Aaron.
I fixed that!
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Although, speaking of Aaron, his poor experience as a sandpiper will never not make me chuckle. I feel so bad for that fact, but oh my goodness.
I did also particularly like. I have 2 words for you, Mr. Dragon. Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's just right up in its face, and there's most of its face missing, and it's looking at him, and he shoots at it, and it goes right through its face.
No,
And-
that was the second shot. The first shot went through the roof.
Point.
He,
was a little nervous.
he released without before he actually managed to finish the pointing. I think was the problem.
And on a speaking of pointing and looking at things, there was the stupid eyeball, and before that, the evil rug.
Oh,
Yeah, the rug.
I
Yeah.
got smothered in that thing.
And Flitty from within the Flitty bag that Alice carries around. Then there was the man made of the black sludge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I made it giggly.
It was amazing. And when I got
everyone
turned
who-
into one temporarily.
By
No, I
illusionary thing.
turned you into a zombie thing.
That's right. I'm sorry, Flitty. But either way, literally saved my life.
For those who don't quite get fairy dragon speak, it's Flitty's talking about the time we were fighting something literally made of the black stuff that came out of that basement in Belarus.
Yeah, Barnabas has seen some of those. They are not fun.
And what and what happened is Flitty came zooming in for we told him to stay back. Nyum. In comes Flitty, breathes I don't know how to describe it, but it was a lot of colors. Just breathes colors at it.
No,
And then it just stands
the
there
colors is blinding. The breath is pink.
It was pink and sparkly, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Pink sparkles at it, and it just stood there like what I think were its eyes grew to basically take up most of its head as it stared into space.
And then it went walking and let you all hit it.
Yeah, it just stood there like goggling at whatever it was, and thanks to Flitty, we basically get just a smack at it until it stopped twitching. Because it wouldn't
Okay.
stop twitching!
Flitty has saved our lives, and on, frankly, more than one occasion.
I'm
No
helpful.
one ever expects that small flappy thing to proceed to completely turn a fight inside out and backwards.
I'm helpful.
Therefore,
There's
Flitty is
a
win.
vantage-
That's why basically
Is there a vantage point on the boat somewhere?
Sorry, you
Is
broke
there
up
a
a bit.
slightly higher point on the boat? Is
You're
there a spot that's higher on the boat, like a crow's nest of some
not
sort?
really. It's more of a fishing vessel.
Yeah, it's a slightly oversized. It's like a more than slightly oversized canoe.
Well, no, it's a little bigger than that, but it's not the mast doesn't support a crow's nest.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're getting at now.
Well, I was trying to get a vantage point to keep an eye out.
Well, perception check for those of you who are percepting. Because we've
Yes.
turned that into a verb now. Thanks, Knobs.
Even if you know about
4.
Oh my god!
16.
Wow.
That's right.
20 on the monk.
I mean, it makes sense, I suppose.
I am not surprised.
Yeah, well, while everybody is doing the storytelling and effectively getting Barnabas a bit more used to what he might be in for, this is A, stalling a little bit, and B, for Barnabas's benefit, because
I appreciate it.
it did occur. Alice says, like, it did occur to me that you fit in so well that I think we've forgotten that you haven't been with us the whole time. I know this because they did the same to me.
A bit.
Which is why I sat Darwin down in the first couple of days and went, tell me everything. So yeah, Froseth is the only one who sees more than it's generally quiet. Um, there's wildlife out there doing its wildlifey thing, but not all of it is standard stuff you find in forests. Even with a
Yeah.
nat 20, you're not getting a particularly good look moving at relative speed, but you remember that some things had been coming up from the Underdark when the Death Fog turned up. Apparently not all of it went back, but it seems to be more doing its own thing and doesn't seem to be congregating anywhere in particular. So, given the sheer orneriness of the people of the Hearth and Francine and company, they're probably fine. It's just that the wildlife got a lot more interesting, and it's probably very, very good that you had this boat. Aren't you glad that Lucy knew how to sail?
Oh boy, are we glad we
Oh
have the boat.
yeah.
Because the gas were one thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't know any of this, not with that fucking. I mean, with that role, you're just seeing, it's quiet, it's fine.
I'm just continuing on a spiel about the bloody spectator floating eyeball thing. Okay. Single eyeball, right? Except the size of my head with stalks coming off of it with more eyeballs on the ends. And every time it looked, like not the front bit looked, but every time the little ones looked at you, magic stuff starts happening. And all I have to do was look. No rambling, no spell casting, just looks, thing happens.
I'll put it to you this way: I don't really want to meet a beholder, but I kind of want to see the look on her face when she does. Because if you thought a spectator was bad,
How much worse is the big cousin then?
they can look at you and completely nullify magic
Orders of magnitude.
as a default. Like,
Double nope!
Clarity, Hazel, if you happen to be fighting a beholder, stand behind it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Verseth, you seem to be doing an awful lot of peering and then freezing and then going squinty. It's the facial journey again.
Nothing directly happening, but it seems there's been some after effects in the area from previous things. There's thing. I think the wildlife is a lot more dangerous than it used to be, to put it lightly.
Oh,
Wait, so the stuff that. So nothing went back down, did it?
Maybe some
That's
did.
my best guess.
Let's hope some things did.
Yeah, so I kind of don't want to encounter a Nothic just wandering around outside.
I think Nothic's mostly like the dark, so I don't think you've got too much to worry about on that score. It's the ones that can manage okay in the light you've got an issue with.
Yeah. Oh, man. But I remember something about things down there being called Umber Hulks, and I would not want to be
We fought an Umber Hulk, you silly moo!
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
just
she
my.
killed most of it. Actually, I think you killed it before it even got to us where we were at.
Well, we were trying to lead it to places, but Remy and Froseth and I got a couple of good hits in, and Aaron did the Eldritch Blast thing, and then it was going free, and I just sort of stuck out the axe and wunk.
Yeah, I didn't even get to see most of it moving before all that popped into pieces.
Yeah, so I seem to remember something called an Umber Hulk.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot. We fought a lot of stuff. Give me a break.
I know.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
It's adorable. It really is. Wouldn't you
is.
say, Clarity?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but it was a one-way guarantee to make her stop.
She's just progressively more and more red and speaking.
And thankfully, all of this relative bits of storytelling have taken up a large part of the day. Lunch has happened, and as we end our tale until 2 weeks from now, you are cruising into the little dock at the Frowning Trout, from which some of you, which you will have probably explained to Barnabas on this whole trip, got kicked out of because of the crockery incident.
Yeah, probably telling that right as we turn up.
Yeah, basically, Hazel, to very quickly sum it up, Hazel was flailing around with her warhammer. She lost her grip on it, and it went through 5 place settings of the owner's crockery.
Ooh.
Thankfully, it's under new management. Unfortunately, it's under new management because the owner and everyone else in it got slaughtered. But Francine has it now. Francine is apparently awesome. But you will find that out in 2 weeks' time. See you guys.